Hello all, welcome to another StarCraft 2 cast by Medical. Today we actually have an awesome match lined up for us today. We have spawning up in the top right hand corner on Frost, playing Terran, we have none other than Nathanias. And spawning down in the bottom right hand corner, playing for Fraya Academy, we have Alpha. So as you can see, we actually have a TVP here up on Frost lined up for us today. So this is going to be a very interesting match. First of all, we need to note the spawn locations. We have the Protoss spawning in the bottom right, whereas Terran spawning in the bottom top right. So therefore, this is going to affect their expanding patterns, how this game is going to play out. So far, we have Pylon going down behind the middle line. This is quite nice. The Protoss here, he's looking to put his gateways and his tech buildings behind the middle line here by this pylon placement. And it also actually blocks off the Reapers, so the Reaper can't run around. So he's just playing safe and with how he's playing his buildings. Oh wait, no. Gateway will go there. I'm guessing he'll put his cybernetics core or other tech down behind his pylon. Now, Fraya has seen a scout out, so he will see. He will find out where his opponent is as soon as possible and be able to react accordingly to what he does. Meanwhile, back at base, looks like Nathanias, he's going for a CC first. He's taking a risk, and on a big 4-player like this, you can get away going CC first on the low ground, especially it's unscouted. He's very lucky considering that the Protoss player has actually scouted the wrong way. He's going to scout all the other bases before he gets to the Terran's base. This means that he won't be able to react in time to really deny the CC first from our Terran player. Well, meanwhile, we do have one gas going down for our player Alpha here, and Cybercore coming down as well. Meanwhile, back at base, still no gases for Nathanias, but there we go, one gas does go down. And we do have one Rex, but are there going to be any more Rexes? How greedy is he going to play? Here we go. Nathanias is also going to scout, and like his Protoss opponent, he is also going to scout the wrong way. So unlucky both opponents when it comes to scouting. We do have the Zealot coming out for Alpha, but it will come down to, we want to see if he cancels it or not. By cancelling the Zealot, it allows you to get a Nexus down faster, and really saves you having a Zealot out, as it's not very good against the early pressure of, say, Reapers, for example. Yep, cancel the Zealot, and Nexus will be going down very shortly. There we go. Now, even though both players did scout the space, it seems the probe has dodged the SCV and they didn't see each other. And looks, what is he doing up here? It looks like he's going to try and place some shenanigans down. Is he going to place a pylon? He's got 100 minerals and no pylon going down, so he's obviously he's keeping this probe up here to scout his opponent later on. Meanwhile, back at base for Nathanias, we have still one gas and a factory going down. This is quite a fast factory. It's about as fast as you can get off a CC first, and we do have a bunker down at the front, so alrighty. Filling that up with Marines, keeping himself safe, and we do have that proxy pylon going down. Is he going to be placing any tech? We do have two gases taken for our Protoss player, and nothing else at home yet. We'll just have to see and what he does. He might be saying about 150 gas for a starport. He's on 130 now. Let's see what he does when he hits 150. There's a Stargate going down. There we go. There's a Stargate. Now, Nathanias, he has not seen this, so this is going to be catching him off guard. But his SCV is about to hit the Protoss base. So when it does, he will be able to really count pylons and figure out, alright, what has my opponent done? Has he done this, that, or whatever. Basically, he'll see that the Nexus has gone down first. He'll see, alright, that's a very, very early Nexus. And he's actually going to see the Forge, he's going to see the Cybernetics core, and he sees both gases. That's a good pickup from Nathanias there. And we do have an extra gateway going down. Meanwhile, what has Nathanias done to counteract this? We have an extra CC going down, another factory going down, and another reactor. This is a lot of factories to be opened up in a TVP. Very, very unique style. And we just have nothing really happening for Nathanias. He's not prepared for this Oracle. This Oracle is going to get into the base and do some real huge damage. There's only 2 Marines out. There's no engineering bay down. and there is nothing that can shoot up apart from these 2 Marines. So one Oracle is going to get a ton of damage done. Now we do have 2 Stalkers poking at the front, and these Hellions should be enough to poke them away. Getting up and close so they can get the surround and maximize the splash damage, pulling back the weak Hellion. This is good control from Nathanias, and these Stalkers are taking a lot of hull damage. They can't be repaired. Remember, these Hellions can have all their damage repaired, and he's actually going to lose 2 Stalkers. 2 Stalkers do go down for the cost of 1 Hellion. That's a good pickup by Nathanias, but the Oracle in the main mineral line has gone in there, and 9 kills already. It's going up to 10 kills. It's getting a lot of damage done, and there's nothing to really stop it here. Alright, well, it did run out of energy, but is there anything that can deal with it yet? We still have factories only pumping out Hellions. We have the Brax is still building another reactor, and we have a third CC going down for Nathanias. Now, having that first CC is a huge pickup, as being able to... Oh, meanwhile, we do have attempted harass, and a lot of workers actually get killed there. Great counterattack by Nathanias. He gets 12 workers killed in that attack. There we go. Missile turrets are going down for him. So further Oracle harass is going to be shut down. And we see Nathanias still massing up his Hellions. This is very similar to what we saw Daishi do in WCS. It looks like Nathanias watched that and obviously wants to try it out. So see how he makes it work. Meanwhile, we still only have 1 gas for Nathanias. He's doing this all off 1 gas. He has not taken any extra gas. But here we go. We have 2 Oracles coming into the main. Are they going to get anything done? Oh, they're coming in. They see the 3 factories. That's a huge pickup to know. They see the factories. He knows exactly what his opponent's doing. And is he going to get any workers? No. Looks like he might pick up 1, but going to get 2nd. But 1 Oracle does go down. That's not worth it at all. That was a very cost-efficient trade for Nathanias there. Now, Nathanias is getting supplied by quite a bit, but massing out 6 Hellions at a time is very, very cost-effective. It's very quick. Hellions only take 30 seconds to produce, and they take up 2 supply, and he's producing them 2 at a time. So he's doing 12 supply every minute. So he's massing them up and going up in supply very, very quickly. Meanwhile, we do have a third nearly finished for our Protoss player, and we actually have a robotics bay going down. Now, Nathanias is coming off a huge wave of Hellions. Is he going to get any damage done? The Protoss sees it. He knows it's coming, and what is he going to do? Planetary Nexus does go down, Force does go down, and the Hellions that is going to try and get some damage done. They do nearly get a Stalker, but they're just going to run away. Took a little bit of damage, and they see the third Nexus. Remember, we have Hellions streaming across the map as well. They're going to keep coming, and they're just going to poke away. With this many Hellions, they can just roast this pile away. Yeah, they do like very little damage, but there's nothing to stop them at the moment. This Oracle is actually doing a fair bit of damage against the Hellions. It's after 5 kills the Oracle, it must have killed at least 3 or 4 Hellions in that just little burst there. And the Oracle here is as well to help defend. These Hellions have a real trouble against these units as they cannot shoot up at all. Now we do have the robotics bay coming down for our Protoss player, so he's going to be looking to get to Colossus really quickly. Oh, here we go. They're surrounded by the Hellions. They're actually getting a lot of splash damage done. These Stalkers are taking a lot of damage from the splash, and they're actually starting to fall. The Stalker and the Sentry both fall, another Stalker falls, and these 2 Stalkers are going to be downed by these massed Hellions. They all fall, and there's nothing left. There's no ground army left for our Protoss player. But he is walled off here, and the Hellions can't actually get into the base. And there's a cannon here, and the Planetary Nexus goes down once again. But the Hellions have broken through. They do snipe the cannon, but they're going to fall back, as there are more cannons coming down. Meanwhile, there's more and more Hellions being just pumped out by Nathanias, and we have more gateways and a robotics bay, and +1 is actually about to finish for our Protoss player. Having this will help significantly, especially once trying to mass up his Colossus count and using Stalkers to deal with the Hellions. Well, this is a very action-packed game so far. These Hellions, they're actually getting a ton of damage done on this Nexus, and 2 Oracles and Mushroom Core, they'll push it back for now, but the Oracles are going to run out of energy from activating their laser, and these Hellions are just going to come back and sit tight. We do have Nathanias' third finally being taken, and meanwhile, here we go, big transfer of workers, and there we go, big wave of Hellions looking to get back into the natural of the Protoss player. Oh, there's no full wall. The Sentry wall does go down, but two Hellions do get in, but Hellions just going to roast away at a pylon, and the pylon does go down. It's actually unpowering a gateway, which is huge, but these 3 Oracles and the Martial Core are getting huge damage done to these Hellions. He has no choice but to back up. He's getting no damage done and losing a ton of units to energy. Meanwhile, we just have the orcas streaming across the map. If Nathanias actually goes over and kills that Stargate, he can actually get rid of these orcas, which are actually doing a huge amount to deflect his attacks. Remember, the third is nearly on half health, and the shield hasn't regenerated, so Nathanias is just going to come back here and try and snipe it. Hellions getting there, they're doing a lot of damage. Doing nearly 100 damage each volley. We have more reinforcements, but with the Colossus and 3 orcals out, Nathanias does need to fall back. Meanwhile, back at base, Nathanias is switching it up. He is building tanks now, and he's got all his gases taken. He actually hasn't got 2 workers in this one. He needs to get onto that. 2 workers in that one as well. There we go. Hellions coming in, trying to roast the Nexus away, and they might actually get it. 160 health is super low on health now. Oh, the Hellions actually going to go for the massive surround. They're going to take this army head on. They do take fire the Colossus. The Colossus does go down, and there's only Stalkers left to deal with this. The Stalkers are getting roasted away by these Hellions. There are 4 orcas out, and with this much energy, they are going to be able to do a lot of damage to these Hellions. The Hellions, once the orcas come to play, they are going to fall back. Oh, we have Gravitech Drive. It looks like our Protoss player is going to go for some Warp Prism harass, but the Hellions do come back and they finish off the third Nexus. The third Nexus does fall, and it is not too much of a huge issue for Alpha, as it hasn't been mining the whole time, but that is 400 minerals cost gone right there. Here we go, we have the Warp Prism coming in, and we have 4 Zealots, and Gravitech Drive is just about to finish, 10 seconds off. It does manage to get in, and it drops off 3 Zealots in the natural. We have Woodamine getting in place, and it's going to drop from Zealot in the main. The Hellions are coming back to deal with this, but the Zealots are getting... Oh, friendly fire on the Hellions as well. And the Gravitech Dive has finished this. Warp Prism was nice and speedy, and it's going to get out of there nice without trouble. Actually dodging a couple of Woodamines there, quite nice. Now we do have Nathanias going into 4 Hellion now. We have 4s being produced by 3 factories at a time, while 4 factories of Hellions just being pumped out. We have no upgrades for the Hellions so far. None whatsoever, whereas our Protoss player is sitting on +1. Both players, though, are not continuing to get their upgrades. Oh, here we go. This is a 6 Oracle hit squad. This is gonna... Oh, this is a lot of damage potential. 1 Oracle can clear out a mineral line, but 6? This is gonna... Oh, this is gonna be interesting to see how fast it cleans out. They're actually just gonna target the missile turret, and they just take it down. The SCVs, but there are 4s. The 4s are here, and they're in splash mode. Target firing the supply depot, but these Orcals are getting taken out by these 4s. 1 Oracle does fall, and the rest do get out of there. But Nathanias is now supply blocked. Target firing down a couple of depots like that. Meanwhile, here we go, getting the nice repair on the Hellions, keeping the Hellions at full health. It is very crucial with a mech army to keep your units fully repaired and fully healthy at all times. Here we go. It looks like Nathanias hadn't... Oh, he's just scouting. Meanwhile, so we do have +1 on the way for our Terran player. We've got +1 mech, and we do have the +1 armor coming on. And we still have Immortal. We have Immortals coming out, and 2 Colossus. So we have 2 Colossus, and now he's producing Immortals. He is getting another Robotics Barrier and a Twilight Council down, but we shall see if that's for more Colossus or more Immortals. Now we do have a Nathanias moving out. He's got a lot of Hellions. He's taking this army head on. The Time Warp does go down. He's trying to get this around, but the Time Warp's making it very difficult. He's losing a lot of Hellions to this. 2 Colossus do go down. A Siege Chain is not even in siege mode, and the SCVs are repairing this. And the Martial Cord goes down, but the amount of Hellions Nathanias lost there was huge. He lost so many Hellions there that he cannot take another fight. Yes, these 4s are beefy, but with Immortal and Stalkers in the army, he has to be very careful. Meanwhile, 5 Oracles looking to get some more damage done, going into the 3rd, and they can just target fire this missile turret and take it out like he did with the natural. And it does go down, and these SCVs are undefended. They're going to be falling so quick to these Oracles. 5 Oracles do so much damage. And it's actually targeting the Hellions, targeting the Mules. That is a huge pickup being able to get the Mules. And actually, if he kills that supply depot with the supply drop on it, that's also another pickup. Alright, what are we at now? We have both players. We have our Protoss player sitting on 62 worker supply, and Nathanias is only on 49. Remember, he does have mules, but he did just lose 3 of his mules to those Oracles, which is a real pain for a Terran player. And we actually have 36 workers killed for Protoss. He's really got back into this game, while Nathanias has 23. Meanwhile, we have a big Protoss move out. We have 2 Colossus, 2 Immortals, and a whole lot of Stalkers in this army. And the question is, what is Nathanias going to do? How is he going to defend us? Back at base, he does have a lot of fours and a couple of siege tanks. These fours they do a lot of damage. And a head-up fight against stalker-based armies like this, they are going to get a lot of damage done. And these stalkers are going to melt. There is nothing they can really do against these fours. Looks like, oh, Scan might have caught the war prism there. And here we go, the engagement is coming. These fours are taking on the stalkers head on. There are no hands, and they're out of range of the siege tanks. He's backing up into the range of the siege tanks, which is very nice. The Mortal taking a few shots, but it's got the hardened shields, so it loses no shields at all to it. And he's actually, oh, he's going to see these, he does see the oracles and get a few shots off. That's always nice. Oh, one oracle does go down. So there's only 2 oracles left on the field, and oh, the revelation, that is very nice. The other person knows exactly where that mech army is, and he can actually work around and try and find a weak spot, a chink in its armor. Here we go, we have 4 stalkers coming around, but this Bex is going to see it. So and meanwhile, we actually have the main army heading up to the natural. Perfect split multitasking here from our pros player, and really looking to split the focus, but they're walking up into a siege tank fire line, and a whole lot of halberds really kind of soaking up the damage. Zealots are closing in on the tanks, but the Mortals are here to back it up, and siege tanks are on the high ground in the main. I think this is a bad choice of our Protoss player. Just too much damage from the splash damage from the tanks in the high ground, and he's just a lot of his army's on low health now as well. Few Zealots do fall, and the harass in the third was cleaned up. Meanwhile, our Protoss is being risky. He's taking 2 extra bases behind us, really expanding behind us, because he knows his Terran player can't harass very well unless there are Hellions on the field. But now he sees that there's Hellbat production. Now Nathanias is going to go around, but meanwhile we do have Stalkers once again harassing at the third, and we have this whatever's left of his Alpha's army here pushing into the natural. There's nothing at home to defend this. These siege tanks are being rallied towards the rest of the army. This siege tank will fall back and siege up on the high ground, but Nathanias is destroying the one of the expansions of Alpha back at home. But looks like he actually stands to lose a lot of SCVs and his CC here. He cannot lose orbital command. Widowmine does go off on the Zealot, and the CC does fall. That's 1 less mule available for our Protoss player. The siege tank is in position, and these Hellbats are shooting down to try to buffer for it. Well, these Hellbats, they're doing a lot of damage to them all, and more tanks are coming out. They're going to focus fire down these Colossus, but meanwhile, we have Nathanias is pushing into the natural of Alpha. This is the base race going down right here, and he does know about this base on the right-hand side. Now, these siege tanks, they're cleaning up the Colossus. This Colossus will fall to these 2 siege tanks, and with only Stalkers and the Mortals here, the reinforcements for Nathanias will be able to defend this army. However, the same cannot be said for Alpha back at home. You have a ton of Archons versus Archons. With the target fire of the 4s, these Archons will fall very quickly, and the Mortals are actually the ones being target fired, so they're being taken out, so the huge amount of damage they get done to 4s isn't really applied throughout the battle. Now the 4s are cleaning up the Archons are all gone, the Zealots are being cleaned up as well, and the 4s are actually going to be moving into the base. There is no production for our Protoss player at all. We have more High Templar on the way, and these 4s are cleaning up. They only have +1 attack, but meanwhile we do have the Stalkers still harassing. Nathanias, he has 2 mineral patches mining, so this is very, very close so far. As Phone can get a little bit of damage done with the force. He really needs to get some SCVs or some mules dropped here to really repair the force, keep them full health. And there's still no mining happening at the 4th, and there is 1 mining base for Alpha. And there's we have a lot of Archons here, and only 5 4s, and the planetary nexus does go down. Target firing the Archons, and looks like this might actually get cleaned up. The Archons do fall, but there are Zealots, and the Marshal Corps is going to get taken out. But the Nexus is doing a lot of damage, and we have more Zealots coming on. These 4s are all in the red half. They're going to fall. First 4 falls, the second 4 falls, and all the 4s do fall. Meanwhile, Nathanias has not reclaimed his mining base yet. He's got a big army though. He's got a whole lot of siege tanks, a whole lot of Widowmines, and a couple of Hellbats. And it looks like he's just going to expand and retake his natural, which there are only 2 mining patches here. There's not much he can get done with that. He really needs to take this 3rd mining base from him, as his Protoss point is still on a full mining base, and his income is much, much more ahead. The income for our Protoss player is significantly larger than our Terran player at this point in time. So our Terran player really needs to take that 3rd base if he wants to stay in the game. They actually evened up in the workers killed as well. Meanwhile, back at home, we have Nathanias taking out that proxy pylon, taking out the Stargate, finally out of the game. Good to see done. Meanwhile, we have Hellions coming on the field. A lot of Widowmines defending up the natural, and Hellions is getting on the map, getting that map control, scouting around. Nice pick up by the Zealot there, keeping it alive, but it seems the Hellions are just going to run around and try and harass this 4th base here. And we actually have a big move out, a whole lot of tanks and a couple of Halberds moving out to the Protoss player. I'm unsure about this, as he does not have the production and reinforcements to really kind of deal with it. Oh, the probe sees everything. The probe and the watchtower will see absolutely everything, and we have, looks like the Warp Prism going to be moving in to do some harassment. Nathanias is taking his third, lifting up the CC from his main, and that's going to be a huge player. He needs that income. Meanwhile, we have Nathanias also moving out to destroy the 4th base of our Protoss opponent, but the Protoss has put down a second 4th. Oh, this is awesome. Great Winter Mine placement right on the watchtower, catching the army as it moves across the map. There goes 2 Archons fall. That is a huge pickup, as those Archons are great against these Halberds, great against these tanks, and losing those is losing some of the most strongest units in your army against this composition. Meanwhile, we have some more harassment going down at home. It seems with a couple of Hellions. No, just one Hellion. And we have Stalkers going down. Stalkers on the high ground. Looks like Nathanias is paying back in favour of tanks on the high ground. So both of them are looking to try and shut down each other's mining base. And Nathanias is pulling his workers, and he only has 3 Hellions back at home. He has 3 Hellions back at home. He has no mining base. He has no army or no reproduction to really defend this. Meanwhile, Nathanias is sieging up the third of our Protoss player Alpha here, and there's not much he can do. There's 2 Immortals and a couple of Stalkers. These tanks are going to move down. They get into siege mode though. If he goes on while they're unsieged, that's a huge pickup for a Protoss player. The Zealots do get roasted by the Halberds, but the siege tanks do siege up, and there's going to be raining hell from the high ground. They're actually in range of the planetary nexus, because we do have the observer here to spot for the high ground. So this is a huge pickup. If you can actually get a tank, that is a huge pickup, because remember, both players have no production. Nathanias has only been able to build 2 tanks at a time. So killing, actually he's going to get a second tank kill maybe. Oh, just saves it in time, 1 shot away. But the planetary nexus is forcing Nathanias to pull back here, because if he loses any units, he's going to be in such a huge amount of trouble. Oh, Wooden Mines are actually going to move in, but no, Alpha's onto it. He's moving his probes out. He's evacuating the base. Oh, and dropping on... Oh, is he going to drop? Because the tanks are unsieged, so there'll be no friendly splash damage. However, the fact that the War Prism's hovering above, as soon as they do siege up, he's going to drop on them, and oh, hell's going to wreck loose. Oh, we do have the Wooden Mines. They are ready, but there's an observer here, so it's going to run away. And it doesn't look like they're going to get any detonations. Meanwhile, we do have Nathanias coming in from the side, and oh, Hellions running into the Immortals, trying to get the shields down, but with 3 Immortals out of the field, 1 Immortal does fall, only 1 Immortal has shield, and there's only a couple of Stalkers and Zealots. I think these Immortals might fall. No, the Immortals do fall, but there's still enough units by our Protoss player to clean this up. What's the army supply sitting at now? We have 20 army supply for 26, and 24... Wow, this is... Both players are neck and neck. There is very little difference between the two at the moment. Nathanias has re-established his third and is mining again from a full base, and he's just fortifying up with a couple of tanks and a couple of Hellions. He cannot afford to lose the space, and with this CC, with 2 CCs out, he really needs to move this one over and get another mining base up and operational. We have more Stalkers and more Zealots harassing the third with the Warp Prism. Dropping on the high ground. With no sun on the high ground, he needs to move this back so he can actually shoot. There we go. Tanks are firing back, return fire, and 1 Stalker does go down. Meanwhile, we have Protoss on 2 mining bases versus the Terrans 1. And the production looks like it's been reset. Both players are back to building only workers. We have Nathanias pumping out another 4. Good choice by him. And 1 4 and 5 Halberds. That is a very good choice against a Immortal Stalker composition, but Archons being morphed in back at base for a Protoss player. This is extremely good against dealing with the Halberds, because Halberds, they're counted as biological, and Archons deal that extra damage against biological. 39 damage splash. That is a real large chunk of damage to be doing to your Halberds. Meanwhile, we do have the Warp Prism looking to find another angle to get some harassment in, but it seems that Nathanias has still got a Winter Mine here. He might have some more on the base. No. Oh, Winter Mine does get a detonation. This is good news from Nathanias, because this Warp Prism now down to 40 health. 1 more detonation and it's dead. Oh, he's just going to back out. He does not want to try and risk losing all his units in that, because losing 3 units at this stage of the game is actually huge. Now Nathanias is actually massive, a really big beefy army here. He's got a lot of halberds, he's got some siege tanks and a 4. Brings some ECVs to repair as well. Smart choice. But there's only two Archons and a couple of Stalkers. Immortals are on the way, but there's just too much mech here. It's too beefy. They do have, even though Protoss Army does have the superior upgrade, and there we go, big warp on his it's just what he needs. Yep, so the Terran player is just going to back up, as that many Zats is going to make it too hard to engage, as they'll charge in and the friendly flames will be done. And it looks like the Protoss is actually going to push in and attack. Does eat a couple of tank shots, but does back out. Now Nathanias is sticking to his siege tanks, it seems. He's got the 1-4 to shoot up, and we have the 4 siege tanks coming in at a time. No further upgrades for both players though. Both players, they've got, Nathanias has his +1, the Protoss player has +1/+1, but other than that, they're not looking to do any more upgrades. Now we do have Alpha with a whole lot of zealots over here looking to get some harassment done, but these Hellions are going to see it, and they can actually kite. No, they're on a attack command. So there we go. The kiting finally come into play, and a couple of Stalkers to kind of deal with these Hellions, so these zealots don't get constantly kited. Our Protoss player is looking to take another base as well, so constant expanding at this point in the game is very, very hard to do, but it is definitely needed, as without an extra expand, you're going to fall behind. And Nathanias is actually fully saturated in both bases at the moment. Oh, there we go, trying to put a supply depot down, but no, it's going to be spotted by the Observer and going to be denied by this Protoss army. We have 2 Archons and 2 Immortals, and we have no more coming out at this point. Nope, a 3rd Immortal there, and no more. Oh, our player Alpha here could actually be mined from this gas, so that would be a good pickup for him to do. But meanwhile, we had Nathanias moving out to the middle of the map, but no, looks like our player Alpha is just going to run away, and the Warp Prism is still a threat. But meanwhile, we do have the engagement coming from the right-hand side from Alpha, looking to deny its third. That does get lifted up, and the tanks are sieging up, but will they siege up in time? They do get a couple of shots off from the Zealots, but the Protoss player does back out, as he does not want to take an engagement yet. Oh, tanks sieging up. He's actually fighting while they're still sieging up, and once again, the Zealots are getting obliterated by the tank fire, and we have the Zealot flank coming in from the left-hand side. The Immortals and Archons are down. The Immortals are still fully up, but there's just too many tanks here. That was a bad engagement for our Protoss player. That was a great flank and a great attempt, but there's just too many tanks, and that amount of splash damage is nothing you can underestimate. Even with your Protoss with all the counters, technically the Immortal is a hard counter. Archons are counters. Even if you have the counters, you do not underestimate the power of a lot of siege tanks. The amount of splash damage they will wreak will put you in a world of hurt. Now the siege tanks are actually going to move here and try and deny this Nexus. With losing a mining base at this stage will be great for Nathanias to do. Well, great for Nathanias to make his opponent do, as it'll keep him back in the game. As before, our Protoss player had this 3rd base. He was a base ahead, and being a base ahead, this kind of point of the game, 40 minutes into the game, you do not want to be a base behind, as you'll just get out macroed and out produced, and your army will just die and not be able to be remade. Now Nathanias is got all his gas. He's trying to take his 4th gas as well, so he can really get his more gas intensive units on the way. And we actually have our Protoss player nearly finishing his +2 upgrades. He's restarting his upgrades. That's a great choice. Getting more upgrades for your Protoss army is a great way to really help your army trade cost efficiently against siege tanks and this mech based composition. Now we do have winter mines moving out. They're obviously gonna, I would say they would mine up around here to, yep, they will mine up around here to cover the flank, but there's an Observer here, so even if an attack does come, it's gonna get, it will destroy the winter mines. Meanwhile, we have Nathanias moving down the map with a lot of tanks and a couple of Hellbats. He's going to be looking to deny these bases. Oh, sorry about the hiccups. And he gets washed out. He's going to siege up in time. He's sieging up, and great spin on the tanks, but there's too many Zealots and a lot of Immortals and Archons here. The Zealots do close in, and a lot of friendly fire going down on the tanks, and the Hellbats are not in position. There's an amazing engagement for our Protoss player there. With a take-based army only and no Hellbats to act as a buffer, these guys were able to charge straight onto the tanks, and the tanks did all that friendly fire damage to each other. The Hellions do spot this army is pushing out, and there's 2 Archons, 2 All Mortals, and a couple of Stalkers and a lot of Zealots. And back at home there's Halbert and Siege Tank coming out from our Terran player. Meanwhile, back at base we have a Dark Shrine coming down. Remember, apart from his Auto Commands, which he only has 1, 2 of at the moment, he has no form of detection, other than any stray missile turrets which he may have up, which he has 1 at this base, 1 here, but it's very limited coverage. Lone Halbert trying to get some damage done, just making sure the space is still shut down. It's very good to do, and it will get cleaned up. But with the key thing is though, Nathanias has not built a single starport this whole entire game. He has no Ravens, he has no Vikings, he has no Sky Dominance, which means DTs are going to wreck his world, as if he catches him when he's got no scans, he's going to be able to destroy his whole army with no way for Nathanias to even deal with it. Now, our Pros player is in a great position here. His income is actually not ahead of Nathanias at the moment. That must be, oh, he got 1 mule out, 2 mules out. Once the mules are gone, Pros' income will be a lot higher than our Terran player. And the Zealot trying to deny this mining base, but the Siege Tank, oh, once he gets some vision, he'll do it. And oh, huge pickup, getting all those SCVs in the middle of the map. That is a huge loss for Nathanias. He's down to 36 SCVs, but oh, here we go. DT's been warped in. Where the DT's been warped in? Here we go. 1 DT on the high ground here. And Nathanias he's pulled all his SCVs. He's going for the kill here. He's moving in and needs to keep his iron together. And will he see the DT? Does he know the DT's out? Where's the scan? No scan going down, but the DT will die to the splash zone, as it seems. And the SCVs act as a buffer. But there's too many Archons, too many Immortals, and oh, good detonation of the Widow Mines. This is close. We have 61 army supply to 45. Nathanias has the bigger army, but this is a mech-based composition and their DT's out. If he doesn't see the DTs, this DT can kill the whole army if there's no scan. The DT's going to town, it's targeting units, and Nathanias doesn't know it's here yet. He's not scanning. Does he even have any scans, is the question. The tank does go down. The DT's is going to get 3 kills here, and there's nothing Nathanias can do to assault until he gets Order Command. And he has nothing to do. Nathanias was unable to deal with this DT, so he had to tap out. That was an amazing game. Very, very interesting to see a TVP mech style, with Nathanias trying to pull off the same style that we saw from Daishi, but didn't quite go his way as it did for Daishi, and ended up going for a big, long 45-minute back and forth game. That was, I swear, that was actually more action-packed than some TVP bio I've casted. Real stellar. So yeah, once again, remember, give the players a shout. We've got Alpha playing for Fraya Academy, and everyone's favourite Terran player, Nathanias. So remember, give these guys a shout, watch their streams, and support them as they play on ladder. As you can see, they put on some extremely, extremely entertaining games. Anyway, this is Medical, and I'll catch you guys on the next time.